How's it going? This is Hoiman, and today we're taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Cure Ma Chérie figure. So again, this continues the dark age of the Precure Figuarts figures, and this is a web exclusive figure, but you don't get a window to see the figure. But the overall packaging does feel really nice, has a really nice soft and smooth sort of texture to the box, similar to a mobile phone box. And then the image of the figure is actually kind of embossed, so overall the packaging does feel really nice and premium, but I feel that it is just lacking the window to see the figure inside really. You have pictures on the top, same for the sides, and then legal stuff for the bottom. And then the back you have more pictures of the figure. And then to open the box, just lift open the side flap. And then you lift open the front cover. And there's the figure all together with her accessories. So first you do get some instructions showing what the figure comes with and how to operate the accessories. So here's the actual figure itself, and overall I think this figure is okay. I do have some minor gripes with it, but we'll get to that in a bit. But for now, the sculpt does look really nice. It does look like the character very accurately, and overall the sculpt is very nicely detailed. And the paintwork again is very nice and clean for the most part. So taking a closer look at the face, I feel that they've captured the likeness of the character really well. Looks just like her. And then you move on to the hair, which is a nice matte yellow finish, and you can see all the strands of the hair in the sculpt. And then it continues to the back as well. And then you move on to these really nicely sculpted pigtails. You can see all the details in the strands, and then the thinner parts are slightly softer as well, so you don't have to worry too much about those breaking. And there isn't really a whole lot of shading in the hair. There is some lighter tints in some areas, but overall it's not really too much shading going on in the paintwork of the hair. But for the most part it still looks pretty nice. Then you have the really nicely sculpted bow on her head. You can see all the different folds, and then the middle part of the ribbon has a nice gold metallic paint. And then I do like the fact that the blue part on the bow is actually translucent. Makes for a really nice effect. And then moving down to the outfit, it's really nicely sculpted again. You have the nice metallic gold paint for the ribbon here. And then the ribbon itself is a softer material, so you don't have to worry too much about those breaking. And then you have a pouch here, which has a nice glossy finish to it, and then the rest of the outfit has a nice matte finish. So the skirt, you can see all the different layers is all individually sculpted, and that's the same for the underside as well. And then the paintwork, for the most part, is really nice and clean. Some of the purple lines are a bit sloppy, but again, it is very nice and clean for the most part. Then you have these back pieces of the skirt, again really nicely sculpted and detailed. There's slight darker shades to bring out the depth as well. And then you move around to her shoes, again nicely sculpted and detailed. And then the red lines are very nicely painted on as well. Same for the soles on the shoes. So for articulation, neck is on a single ball joint, so you should look down about that much. And although the hair is solid pieces, they're not super heavy, and because they're on the sides instead of the back, it doesn't really weigh down the head too much. And then she can look up that much. She can tilt her head side to side as well as twist. And then the shoulder, it's on a ball joint, so you can move her arm about however you like. And then it also has the pull out method as well, so that allows for a bit more range. It's also on a hinge, so you can bring her arm out to the side, but the sleeve is a solid piece, so it does restrict the movement a bit. But you can still bring her arm out to the front, bring her arm back. She has the bicep swivel, and then single jointed elbow. And then again, she has the really thin ball jointed wrist, which Bandai continues to use. And they're just so thin. Like, if you look at that, that is really thin. So they can break really easily. So just be careful of those. The torso is on a ball joint. So she can lean forward about that much, lean back that much, lean side to side as well as twist. And then the whole skirt is actually on a separate piece, so you can float about. And then this part is also a softer material, so it helps with a bit with articulation. And then the skirt is somewhat a softer piece, but it's still quite solid. And it is split into two different segments. So that allows the leg articulation. So the waist is on a ball joint. So you can twist the legs about however you like and also move them however you like. This is one of the major problems which I'll get to in a bit. So each leg is on a ball joint, so she can kick about that far to the side, kick forward that much, kick back that much. She has the thigh swivel and then single jointed knees. And then she has the ball jointed ankles, you can go back that much. Forward that much, can lean side to side as well as twist. And then finally the back skirt is on a ball joint, so you can go back that much, and then you can also twist and rotate as well. So for the most part, she has all the articulation you'd expect the Figuarts figure to have, and even more so because of the pull-out method in the shoulder, and then the extra joint for the skirt in the back. So for the most part, you should be able to get all the poses you'd want, but there is one major pose that you can't do, which I really feel that Bandai should have incorporated, but I'll get to that in a bit in my final thoughts. But for now, that's the figure. Let's take a look at the accessories. For faces, she comes with a default smiling face. A very similar face, but with her mouth slightly opened. An open mouth smiling face. And then the same face, but with her eyes looking slightly to the left. For hands, she comes with a pair of fists. And then a rack of various hands. So one pointing hand, two hands to hold her weapon, two open palmed hands, and two chopping hands. She also comes with this dual hand to use with Cure armor so that they can hold hands. And then she comes with her main weapon, which is nicely sculpted and detailed. And then I do like the use of the translucent parts here. And then this piece can be removed. And then you can swap that out with this piece, which is a nice translucent part. And that just slides in to the slot like so. And then finally she comes with a display base, which I do recommend with this figure. So my final thoughts are, like I said, overall I think this figure is okay. It is nicely sculpted and detailed, and it does capture the lightness of the character really well, but because this is the dark age of the Precure Figuarts figures, like Bandai opted to use some cheaper methods to design these figures, so although the hair is nicely sculpted, the plastic used feels kinda cheap. Like, it just feels really rubbery and it's somewhat bendable as well. It doesn't feel like proper cheap, but it definitely feels lower quality in compared to the past Precure figures. But overall, they do feel pretty cheap, but for the most part they do work as hair. And then there still is some QC issues, like the leg just for whatever reason just won't stay on. Like, I don't know what it is, if it's like the glue just hasn't settled or if it's actually just QC problem, but It's nothing major since you can easily glue it back in place, but the fact that this happened in the first place it does detract from the figure a bit. And the figure does still have some loose joints here and there, like her left shoulder joint is relatively loose, and then her legs are a little bit loose as well, but overall they're not too bad. And like I said, the paint job for the most part is very nice and clean, but there are some parts which are quite sloppy, like around the skirt, but again, that isn't super noticeable. But I think my biggest gripe with the figure is that she can't do her main henshin pose that she does in the show. Like, I think it would have been nice if she came with a alternative skirt so that this part raises up. And I think it would have been nice if they included a left leg that's permanently fixed to a crouching position. Because if I try to do her henshin pose, so you're supposed to bring your leg all the way up and then bend it like so, and then adjust her legs like so, but you can tell that the leg just can't bend enough to accurately portray the pose. And when you try to do it this angle, the torso can't bend high enough to accurately do a pose. So I think it would be nice if they included an alternative skirt to make it rise up, so you can move her leg up and then just include a permanently fixed leg so it's at a crouching angle so you can accurately portray the pose. But I understand because Bandai decided to go lower in their budget for these figures, so it can't really be helped, and I suppose it's understandable. So making a new whole skirt and leg would add to the price and cost, and then making the hair from high quality plastic would again increase the cost. And then this figure comes with quite few accessories as well, so more accessories also equals more price. So you can definitely see where Bandai cut the corners with this figure, but again, I just feel that it is a really missed opportunity to skip out on the alternative skirt and the leg. But other than that, again, overall this figure is okay. It's nicely sculpted and detailed, and if you're a fan of the character or the show, then I can still recommend this figure, but just keep in mind of the QC issues and the kind of build quality of the figure overall. But she is a web exclusive figure, so she is quite pricey, and for the amount of accessories and stuff you get for the price, it can detract buyers a bit. But again, if you do like the character, then I can still recommend this figure. But that's my review. Thank you for watching and enjoy some pictures.